Hello there everyone, today is Monday, August 6, 2018. You are looking at a picture I took earlier today of basically me trying to get a good look of Midtown Manhattan from where I work. And honestly, this was around 3 o'clock today. I took this photo. Earlier in the day, I was able to see the Manhattan skyline from where I work, of course. But honestly, I couldn't at 3 o'clock, of course. It just looked like there were so many clouds out, and when I got home, it still looked hazy, and we have all this humid air pretty much affecting our entire tri-state area, and of course affecting the Delaware Valley, and of course affecting the Delmarva Peninsula, of course. In this video, of course, we're going to look at the live weather conditions for 4 o'clock. We're also going to take a look at some advisories. And that's pretty much just going to be what the weather update will entail today. The only thing I can tell you right now is that we may have to do a special report on Wednesday, because Wednesday there's a severe chance of rain, it looks like, coming to the New York area on Wednesday. So I will keep you all posted on that if we do see any severe weather on Wednesday. However, we have another humid day tomorrow and, of course, Wednesday, but it looks like Thursday, as I mentioned yesterday, we will break out of this pattern. So, only for the weather update, we will discuss the current conditions and, of course, the advisories issued today from the NWS. We're also going to discuss a few mass transit issues today with the Long Island Railroad. And unfortunately, another miserable day for people riding New Jersey Transit. Let the intro out of the way. Let's go to the first subject, which is the weather, and then we'll discuss issues with the Long Island Railroad and New Jersey Transit. The current temperature right now, as of 20 minutes to 5 o'clock, is 92 degrees. You have the real feel, the heat index right now, it is 100 out there. I was just out there and it was brutal pretty much. The dew point is again in the impressive range today. Anything above 70 is usually uncomfortable. The humidity is at 50%. We actually do have a wind gust right now. Well, the gusts are not available at the moment, but we do have a wind going south-southeast. It's not highlighting it, there we go. South-southeast, 10 miles an hour. I don't know what's going on with my computer today. I'm going to highlight it for you. That's better. So 10 miles an hour is pretty much the wind right now. As I was mentioning earlier, Wednesday, there's the best chance of rain this week out of the whole entire week. And thankfully, we will break out of this pattern starting next week. Same with Delmarva, it looks like. I was checking the forecast earlier while I was at work in Delmarva, and it looks like Delmarva is going to see some comfortable temperatures come next week. So here in New York, here in Delmarva, pretty much we're going to get some very nice weather, and about time, because honestly, I didn't want to go into Delmarva thinking it was going to be another brutal couple days I would have spend down there, but looks like it'll be comfortable for me to maybe actually go on the boardwalk this time. I couldn't do it the last time because it was unbearable. We'll just take a look at the weather alerts. We have an air quality alert now extended into 11 p.m. tomorrow. So pretty much we have an air quality alert going into tomorrow the 7th at 11 p.m. Of course, Nassau, Suffolk County, pretty much all of New York City is under this air quality alert. If again, here we go, New York. So New York County is, of course, Manhattan. Just want to double check that. So all the 5 boroughs are under this. Of course, we have a heat advisory until 8 o'clock on Tuesday. The heat index values, like we just saw, are going to be between 95 degrees and 101 degrees. This is why I specifically asked my employer to start my vacation on Thursday. I was granted my absence today until I come back from Delmarva, so that's great news. I get to work until Thursday, and Thursday I get to enjoy the nice weather, but Again, I'm just going to say this. Please check up on the mentally ill, the elderly, children, and pets today, because those are the sensitive groups who cannot deal with this humidity today, and especially tomorrow. We'll have to do another update tomorrow and see if there's any other advisories, and we'll do an air check. So here's the air check right now across our area. We'll quickly check Central Park right now. Central Park, we'll get the observatory there. Wow. 98 at Central Park from this. 93 at Carl Scholl's. Midtown is reporting between 90 to 95. I'm not surprised about that. Why wouldn't that surprise me? Let's check my favorite place to be today. Let's check Martha's Vineyard. I'm sorry, but out of all the places I want to be right now, it's Martha's Vineyard. It would be something I would want to do right now. So here's Fisher's Island in Rhode Island, of course, 82. But again, let's check all those lucky people in that's New Shoreham. No, I'm trying to find Martha's Vineyard. Here we go. Okay, so like I figured, Martha's Vineyard today in the 80s. Yes, this is where I want to be today. Out of all the places, ooh, come to think of it, Falmouth's actually comfortable today in Massachusetts. Again, I really don't care with dealing with arrogant people from New England, but they get that nice breeze over there. And honestly, I would rather be there today out of all the places. Let's just check most of New England. New Hampshire, again, a place I don't want to be in today. I normally would think New England would be comfortable, but apparently not today. So let's just go to Delmarva, see how that looks today. You know what? Let's check Toms River. We should have done that yesterday. Let's check to see how the folks in Toms River are dealing with this humidity today, because they normally are the hot spot when it comes to, of course, dealing with this humidity. Yep, in the 90s. As I said, you got to give your condolences to people in Jersey, because they have to put it up more than we do. They get more humidity than, honestly, than most of us. So Dover is reporting 89, close to, I think, that's Odessa? I'm pretty sure Odessa has a... Okay, Middletown's reporting 95. Odessa's reporting that too. Townsend, 92. Let's see if we can get a reading from Smyrna. I think Smyrna? Yeah, Smyrna's reporting in the 90s as well. Dover's pretty much reporting in the upper 80s. A couple hot spots there. So Ocean City right now. You know what? Let's check Rehoboth Beach. 86 in Rehoboth Beach. Bethany Beach is reporting 86. Van Wyck Island's reporting 84. Ocean City is reporting in the mid-80s today at this hour. We'll check Salisbury. We'll check Crisfield. Then we'll check, of course, Easton, Stevensonville for most of the peninsula. Okay, so apparently Salisbury is reporting different temperatures today. Close to Fruitland, we have 88, which I think that would be a more accurate number to describe the area. I quickly want to mention, and I'm going to shout out Steve Lynchiak from WBOST today. I want to thank him for updating everybody on Facebook. Earlier this morning, there were showers in Exmoor being picked up on the radar. It did rain over here in, of course, the Virginia shoreline. So right now, Virginia, they got cooled off because of the rain today. Another place I would want to be today would be Chinneteague. Chinneteague is in the low 80s today. Nice, comfortable weather. If you are in the peninsula this week, I would recommend going to Chinneteague. It's only about a 30-minute drive from Ocean City. It's worth the drive, trust me. If you don't want to deal with the humidity, that's where you want to be. Same with Crisfield. If you can get out of Crisfield because it's 90 today, just drive into Virginia and go to Chinneteague, because you might see some wild ponies, but overall, you'll definitely notice the temperatures difference out there. So we'll just wrap it up by checking Easton. Easton's reporting in the mid-80s today. And, of course, we'll check up on my cousins in Stevensonville, see how they're doing out there today at their stations. All right, most of their stations are reporting mixed today in Stevensonville. We'll just check Annapolis for a sec. How's Annapolis today? Yeah, Annapolis is reporting that. In fact, go further. Let's check D.C. Can we check D.C.? Yes, excellent. We can check Washington. So Washington today is reporting in... Normally D.C. gets hot too, so we don't need to go into that. The last thing I want to check to not brag about is one place that I think is comfortable in all of America more than... can we find it? Wonder if we can find it. Let's check Flagstaff. Here we go. So Flagstaff today is reporting in the 90s. And quickly I'm going to mention that California, I gotta feel bad for those folks in California. We'll just quickly check up on them today. Yeah, California, I really feel bad for you guys dealing with the wildfires. Pretty much Los Angeles is reporting wide amount of temperatures today in the Los Angeles area. I know I'm going off topic, but I just wanted to check. Pretty much most of the country is in a baking point right now. It's uncomfortable, unbearable, and honestly, again, out of all the places I want to be today, I have to be Genesee Island in Virginia because I could tolerate it. It would be nice, comfortable, and better to be there than here at this point. In fact, I don't know. If it does get hot next week, I may have to beg my parents to take me to Chinnatique because I'd rather want to be on the beach and enjoy the nice, comfortable weather. But it looks like next week it's going to cool down in Ocean City, so I should be able to tolerate it, to make that last point. So let's talk about what happened on the Long Island Railroad today. Well, of course, we're going to wrap up the video with New Jersey Transit news. Okay, so here's what happened. Let's zoom in if you are a mobile viewer. I want you all to see it if you are watching on a smartphone or a tablet. Okay, here's what we got. 2 people were struck and killed by separate non-passenger Long Island Railroad trains earlier this morning, causing widespread service disruption for several hours, MTA officials said. An unidentified man was killed when he jumped onto the tracks near Woodside at 4:45 a.m. near Harold Interlocking, according to Metropolitan Transportation Authority police. Service between Jamaica and Penn was temporarily suspended, and during this, I quickly want to mention that the MTA was cross-honoring and allowing people to transfer to the E train at Jamaica, so people were still able to get to Penn Station this morning. 45 minutes earlier, service was suspended between Hicksville and Ronkonkoma after a person on the tracks east of Hicksville was struck. Details about the 2 fatalities were not immediately available. So, it just comes to show that you have to deal with this nonsense. All I'm just going to say is that I don't know how these people are ending up on the tracks. And it's not really worth my time to yell about or go irate about, because honestly, I'm just the one reporting this news. Okay. By 9:30 a.m., the Long Island Railroad announced on Twitter that service was still operating with scattered residual delays of 10 to 15 minutes. So, pretty much, they got service back by 10 o'clock, but the damage was already done. There was pretty much nothing that could be resolved to fix anybody's schedules today. So now we're going to talk about an issue with switch issues at Ronkonkoma causing commuter problems for the trip home. Here's what happened. There was a lingering switch problem near Central Islip. This was first reported after 11 a.m. And we don't really need to read more about this, but we will take a look at my Twitter feed because here's what happened. A couple trains were canceled today because of this. I don't really want to read it that much, but you can take a look at it right now for yourself on the screen. I'm very glad, again, under the Philip Bing administration, that we are seeing better communication. I am noticing that because if this was Nowakowski, there wouldn't be any information. If Nowakowski was still running the ship, we wouldn't even be getting this tweet. So, Philip Bing, you get a heart from me today on Twitter. I'm pretty sure Philip Bing sent out this tweet. If he didn't, I would be surprised. Philip Bing personally himself. And then something happened at one of my stations I use regularly. The 314 train from Penn doing around Kokomo at 12:34 was operating 12 minutes late due to a broken crossing gate west of the new Hyde Park train station. Remember, this is a station that I normally use to go east on the Long Island Railroad from Long Island Jewish on the main line. So, one issue happened today. So let's just double check any other information from the LIRR. This is the only information they sent out. I quickly want to mention today that NYCT Subway gave some very good news for people in Astoria. So pretty much, it looks like they're going to finish wrapping up the work on the Ditmars Boulevard line of the N. One more weekend, it looks like. I will, of course, remind everybody in the service changes video on Friday when we get the official word, but it looks like the work is going to finally be done, and people in Astoria can hopefully try to salvage whatever of the summer that they've pretty much lost thanks to this track work in Astoria. But yeah, as you can see here, here are the tracks coming to Astoria. I think this was taken last weekend, but I'm glad that, of course, they are caring about Queens. And I've noticed this since Sandy Byford has taken over, that they've pretty much focused most of the attention on the subways in Queens since he's taken over. And I'll give him credit when credit's due. They're fixing this track in Astoria. They're finally focusing weekends on the 7 as well since he's taken over. And eventually we'll finally have some sanity back on the 7. That's what I'm hoping. And there'll be sanity back on the Ditmars Boulevard line in Astoria. So there's positive changes that have been taking place since Andy Byford came in to run the ship at New York City Transit. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about our last subject today, and that is, of course, the mess known as New Jersey Transit. So here's what happened. Here were the canceled trains that were affected today. On the Northeast Corridor, the 6:25 a.m. train from Jersey Avenue and the 7:23 a.m. train from Trenton were canceled on the Northeast Corridor. On North Jersey Coastline, 5:47 a.m. from New York Penn, 5:53 a.m. from South Amboy with equipment issues, 5:04 a.m. from South Amboy, 7:46 a.m. from New York Penn, and 9:15 a.m. from South Amboy. On the main line, Morris Essex, 6:44 a.m. from Dover, 7:33 a.m. from Dover, 7:41 a.m. from Hopatcong. I can't read this, I apologize. On the Bergen line, what happened? 5:29 a.m. train from Suffern due to mechanical problems. 2 trains from Port Jervis, 5:52 a.m. and 9:26 a.m. were canceled. Montclair Booton, 6:45 a.m. from Montclair State University, mechanical problems. Raritan Valley, 5:42 a.m., 7:17 a.m. from Raritan, and 9:06 a.m. from New York Penn. Okay, cancellations became extracted when passengers who planned to take canceled trains were unable to pile already onto crowded trains that followed, as many pointed out on Twitter. So we'll give the exact amount of trains that were canceled today. The number totaled up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 trains were canceled today. This morning, due to, of course, the nonsense that took place. And I quickly want to mention that I was supposed to talk about this over the weekend, that another issue that took place during the work with regard to the PTC was that most New Jersey Transit staff were overwhelmed back on Friday because the Jay-Z and Beyonce concert ended late due to the severe weather we had in the New York area back on Thursday night. So pretty much we know what's taking place with regards with New Jersey Transit, but we normally don't find out until hours after. Okay, so here's a couple tweets. Pretty much screwing over folks heading over to New York Penn on Monday morning. Yeah, I agree. This nonsense is ridiculous. This is completely ridiculous. Look at all these canceled trains that came on the NJT app. Nice to see so many of your engineers decided to take today off because their contract allows them to not just show up for an unapproved vacation day. Alright, so NJ.com asked about what happened. NJT didn't immediately return a message. Okay. So again, we don't really need to talk about what happened that much, but again, 17 trains were canceled this morning. I'm wondering if this is going to happen the rest of the week, because we may have to keep talking about this. Because once again, the media just doesn't want to talk about it. They're too busy, I'm going to say this again, talking about the narcissistic moron from Washington, D.C. We all know who he is. We're not going to say his name, because if we say his name, it triggers a discussion, and we don't need to talk about who honestly whines and complains, and honestly is ending up like a Disney character who lies too much. If you know what I'm talking about, go ahead, comment. I don't care. Alright? I'm getting sick and tired of the media not talking about these necessary mass transit issues. And I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm just so annoyed of what's going on these days. Keeping in mind when I'm in Delmarva, if the media is not reporting on any stories, I may have to do my own news segment in Delmarva. We may have to do some live streams while I'm down there if I have the time, because it honestly keeps me sane talking to you about issues that you will not hear anywhere else. So I'm glad I get this opportunity to talk to you all about what's been taking place today, and hopefully, as I said, this week, if we have any more issues, we will discuss it on this channel. That's pretty much going to wrap up this video. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, take care.